Ain't no last calls here.
Bar Talk with Jay.
Alright, and welcome to Bar Talk with Jay. Welcome. One of the things I want to tell you is brought to you by Dispose LLC. This is a garbage company that's doing big things. They've been doing greater things for the next 2020. But in 19, we're doing great things for you right now. If you want to get an opportunity, give us a call. One of the things I want to tell you, I'm one of the people that might be able to help you. Customer service is one of the things I've been doing for over 27 years in this industry. Yeah. So I'll be able to help you in a lot of different ways. All you gotta do is find out who is calling in. Why everybody want to get in on our show, man? But the bottom line is I got to push them out to let y'all in. So give us a call and we'll see what we can do. Right. Next, I got to rock with this man that's been rocking with me ever since I got this bad boy started. Craftmatic, how you doing, big baby?
Man, I'm fabulous, bruh. I'm doing real good, man. Just going into the end of the year, just after reflecting, praying over 2020, fired up, man.
You still glowing?
Just fired up. You ever been excited about something, Jay?
I mean, you come excited every time you come
excited about life, man. That's what we all need to be doing.
I know.
Just be excited about life, right?
Trying to find out why you so damn chipper.
I got a lot of reasons, Jay.
And we trying to get them spilled out. Now
I know you are, but I ain't telling a damn thing.
You know what I'm saying, man? You real secretive.
You ain't gonna.
That's why you my boy. You don't snitch. Yeah. See, you can ride with me. That's why I got rid of Booker. Yeah, Phil had to go. Yeah. Phil snitch. Yeah, he'll tell him. Yeah. I like you. You don't tell.
I won't tell.
That's what I'm saying. You gotta know the people you ride with. Yeah. Craft is somebody to ride with. Some of y'all need to stay home.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing good.
I see you on one tonight.
I gotta be. We trying to get people to see 20 differently than 19.
Yeah, absolutely.
And some of the people you riding with ain't really riding with you. I got one sitting in the back. She acts holding stuff for no good reason in 19. I'm trying to get her released in 20 because she playing buy and celibate.
Give us just a vote, please. Let me properly introduce us. This is Bar Talk with Jay. My name is Craftmatic. This is my boy Smooth Jay. And we are here to bring forth wisdom through dialogue. We want to just have a great dialogue, a great discussion here, and try to gain some wisdom from it. Try to gain some understanding about life. And we hope that you can look into our opinions and our experiences and our stories here and find yourself and make a decision about what you would do, how you would handle the situation, how this makes you feel, or makes that makes you feel. So we just want to do something that helps people grow. And the greatest growth we've been able to find is having a conversation with someone that just truly lifts the spirit. So we're really glad you're with us tonight, and we are, I guess, celebrating our final show for 2019, and which makes this a very special occasion because we've had some fabulous shows this year. Would you agree with that,
Man, I totally do. Yeah. I don't really like hear that final of 2019 because final made me feel like it's over.
Yeah, no.
19 is just a year.
Yeah.
We still doing this.
But 19 is.
Yeah, 19 over. After this.
Yeah, so thank y'all for being here with us tonight. We always start the show off with a prayer. And OJ, open the floor.
I was thinking about it, man, but I'm already on one. I need to keep my blessings, so go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, then let's just take a moment, hand it over to the Lord. Okay. Heavenly Father, we thank you for being here tonight. We thank you for this fabulous time of the year, a time of renewal. We thank you for a time of regrowth. We thank you for a time of joy and fulfillment. And we ask, Heavenly Father, that you would go before us and prepare 2020. We ask that you would open doors for us unlike never before. We ask that you would close those portholes of our lives that seem to be empty in darkness. And we ask, Heavenly Father, that you would find a way to strengthen our spirit through this year. Give us more confidence, give us more life, give us more peace, give us more understanding, give us more wisdom, give us more strength to carry on. Be with us tonight, Heavenly Father, and just make this an awesome show. We ask this in your Son's name, Jesus Christ, we pray. Amen.
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 You just moved some things.
I didn't want to stop right
I see.
I didn't want to stop right
Glory to God. Glory.
I might even do another one there for the show with Jay.
Hey, I need it.
I just feel it so deep on the spirit. It's almost like a magnet just snatching you down to the center of the universe. Right? All you can do is just let the word just come forth. I don't even be saying half the stuff I say. It just come. You know what I'm saying? It's just the spirit moving. So let's go ahead and cover last week's topic.
Okay.
It was a very interesting topic.
You
We
said
got a lot out of it. And so it goes like this. 2019 versus 2020. Let's get ready for our best year ever.
And again, you know, if you really look at it, it was just a reflection of what you was going through and where you was at to where you want to be. So one of the things I will always say is, again, our show is to get you to think about what's going on with you.
Right.
So a lot of times when I go back and we listen to it, we hit on a lot of things, but there's a lot of things I just want to make sure we hit on with you. So 19 to 20, to me, I just want to make sure we pour it out and have an understanding of what we're doing. And look at it, reflect on it in a better way, where 20 becomes a better year than 19, but not to make 19 your worst year. It's the learning from.
Absolutely.
Everything's a learning from stage.
Everything is a learning from, and that's what we got to understand. It's the journey, right? Not necessarily the destination. There are lots of little destinations, but it is the journey that we're all really this wave that we're riding. And so I asked last week for you to take a good look at 2019. What did I do well? What did I really achieve? What did I accomplish for 2019? Well, how did I make a difference in my life and in the life of others for 2019? And give yourself a chance to pat yourself on the back, right? You're almost like strengthening yourself when you pat yourself on the back. And as you begin to build yourself and strengthen yourself to your accomplishments and your achievements, then it's now time to take a look at what are the things that I didn't do so well. And what are those things that I was remiss in doing? I knew I was supposed to have done them, but I didn't do them. And what are those things that just escaped me because I was afraid to attack, so to speak, in life? Now we can start to get a good feel for what I need to develop going into 2020.
Right.
And if I can understand, you know, what I did wrong in 2019, it'll at least make me more aware of it when I go into 2020. Otherwise, I'll be the same train coming through next year, right? And so we're talking about developing oneself and, you know, some ways to make yourself better. We talked a lot about, you know, treating your body like a temple, okay? We talked about stop feeling obligated to deal with people that have a lot of negative energy.
Yeah, we gotta do that.
That was a major one, right? Yeah, we talked so much about making plans for the next year. Whatever those plans may be, it may be take a trip, it may be to have a certain family gathering, but there are lots of ways that you can improve next year over last year. And I think we did a fabulous job of going through some of those things. There was questions coming from the audience. Basically, you know, how do I get laser focused for the year? How do I get myself ready in business, maybe even in marketing? And, you know, what kinds of things should I be doing? You know, at the age of 30, what kinds of things should I be thinking about? I think, you know, those are questions that we all need to be answered before we get there, right? And if we don't get those questions answered before we get to that place in time, we're just going to be, you know, wandering through life. And we no more wandering through life, right? Some of the key points that I really loved was get serious. 30-year-olds, get serious about life. Life is starting to slip from under your feet at age 30. And there are a lot of people who have all kinds of wild and weird and crazy intersections in their life that dramatically changes their life. And so even though we got a lot of people living to 60 and 70, there may be some of you who fall into one of those bleak spaces and have your life taken from you at age 45 or at age 55. And before you get there, you should have thought about, hey, what is my plan, even perhaps if I'm not around? How am I going to transition and make a will or get my family prepared for tomorrow? Making plans is the way to get through life. Making plans and following through on plans is the only way to measure success, because success is the progressive realization of predetermined, worthwhile personal goals. It's got to be predetermined destination. And when you say, here's where I am and here's where I want to be, only will you achieve success when you achieve that. Right? It's not just doing well tomorrow in your job. It's not just going through life and having a lot of good breaks and things just happening for you. Success comes by the way of measurement from A to B. I want B, I'm going to go and get B. And when I get B, I can be considered successful. Those are the greatest successes in our time. And they'll only happen in 2020 when you get laser focused on them. So sit down, write your goals, write your dreams, really put a plan together. You should have a major goal for each month of the year. And because there's birthdays and holidays and etc., there's going to be lots of opportunities for you to put yourself in there, right? For you to put yourself in this plan for relaxation, to go and visit old family members, to just, go on a hiking trip if you want, to go to the Bahamas if you want. Put something special into each month for you and your family. You'll find that the more intentional you are about life, the more intentional that life will be about you. And so it was a great show. Please check it out. We're all over the internet, bartalkwithjay.com, Periscope, Spreaker, Facebook, iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and my co-host will present the rest of that nonsense.
Hey, why I gotta be nonsense? Hey, if y'all don't meet me, that's your business.
Right.
If you on POF, Tinder, ain't nothing wrong with that Tinder. You on that Tinder? Chris,
Yeah.
Chris, you go listen. Anything that you might want, what's that, farmers?
Yeah.
You know, the number one thing I will always tell you is we're always looking to get in every avenue that we can, because I don't know where y'all at. I just want to see if I can meet you some of the ways, because I'm trying to do my due diligence to find you. Now all you got to do is listen. I mean, you can't say that's a fair trade-off. That's all we're trying to do.
Right.
That's it.
That's it. So check out the show and invite your friends and family. Subscribe so you can get each show that is coming to you, or each show directly kind of in your inbox. We love what we do, and we hope you do too. And if you love it, share it with somebody else. Just trying to spread the positivity. And so let's move on to our quote for tonight.
What we got, Brad?
This quote was written by Barbara, who obviously could not be here tonight.
Macon, Georgia.
Macon, Georgia really sent some love out last week.
Yes, she did.
Barbara came into the house with gifts for everybody. Everybody had gifts, and I ain't talking about no little punk ass gift. You know what I'm saying? It was a nice gift.
Yeah, she showed up for a lot of people.
Yeah, and I don't know how she does it. She has such a giving spirit, and she's been that way ever since we started this show. But boy, that's why she's so blessed, because she's constantly giving like that.
Yeah.
Man, she put it on last week. So this quote is by her. I haven't even read it yet, but let's read it together. Okay. Right? It's often the unexpected that brings joy, if we can only relax and enjoy it by letting the wisdom of others motivate us.
Ooh, deep.
It's often the unexpected that brings joy. Ooh, that's deep.
I mean, that hit on so many things, because you already have an idea where you thought your joy would be.
Yeah.
But when you got real people around you, they'll bring joy out of you because it's already in you. But they'll make you realize it in ways other than what you was perceiving it was going to be.
Yeah.
And it's like, yo, that's a great vibe. I like being around this person. That person wasn't trying to cater to you. That person was just being them. But it brings a lot out. But when you're trying to do certain things, you feel like you're being led, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like this person has a little over-ego issue of drawing me in. And they usually have their own motives. Right. And that's why I say, that's why most people lie in relationships, or lie in things, because they have their own desire.
Yeah.
So I like it when somebody got a pure intent. I mean, we don't like each other, we like each other, but I'm going to be me.
Right.
I'm going to get a good vibe off of that. I'm gonna rock with that. Absolutely. And I'm going to get happiness from the fact that I met a good person, genuine, compared to me trying to use my discernment to figure out what you talking. What do you mean?
Right.
You know you ain't real.
And listen, here's my point. How do you get to those meetings, right? And I think we're going to talk about this a little bit tonight. How do you get to those meetings of new people who stimulate your mind and stimulate your heart? And how do you get to those settings, right? And so unexpected, it's often the unexpected that brings joy. In order to receive or experience the unexpected, you got to be in new places.
I agree.
doing new things.
With new people.
And experiencing new experiences with new people.
Yes.
Right?
Hey, it's nice. It's nice. It's nice.
You turn the damn corner every time.
Every time.
Well, you know I can't keep you around when I start preaching, man. You turn the corner
I'm
too
right
much.
there, man. I'm in the movie.
But it just brings me to, in order to get to
Right.
meeting those new people and having those new reflections and new friends, etc., you got to do some new things. The unexpected can bring great joy. And I don't think it could have been said any better than how Barbara put it here in the
Why
quote.
didn't
Letting the wisdom of others motivate us.
Yes.
Mm.
She be on point.
That's kind of a listening equation, right? Sometimes we know a lot. We know the answers. We've done that thing before, or we're more experienced than the person who's talking to us. But rather than letting them finish what their point is, we start rambling off about how much we know, and how much we done, and where we done been, and where we come from, and I just did a segment on Minecraft talking about listening, that we really got to step back and just let other people express themselves, right? They don't have to know that I have, they're working toward their degree, their first degree. They don't know that I have a couple of degrees, right? And me putting that out there doesn't really mean anything, right? I need to listen to them genuinely and receive from their wisdom, and every single time, just like you did. Jay was telling me about his holiday party with his family. And what the family does every year, at the beginning of dinner, they'll all go in a circle and hold hands, and each person will have an opportunity to come around and say something. And everybody said something, and the most profound thing that came out was from a 9-year-old kid. And he said, connection.
What it mean? What do Christmas mean to you? Connection.
Connection.
Everybody love, family, connection.
That's a powerful,
talking about from a
that's
young
powerful.
man.
From a 9-year-old,
What
right?
asking him to lead is his word, his time.
Yeah,
And you go back and hear it for yourself.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what I love about doing that.
yeah,
That exercise get people to feel like they can speak up.
absolutely.
Our young need to know they have power in what they say. They feel like they got to be wiser than us.
Yeah.
We know you're young, but you got a lot of wisdom. Young people hold a lot of knowledge.
Right,
They just don't know what to do with it.
right,
And the whole thing is getting it released to make them realize they got it and we want them to use it.
right.
And that's why we sit around, because we want to hear their motivation, not just hear from us.
Absolutely. Spirit, man.
You already tell your soul.
It does so much, yeah. It does so much.
Motivate you,
for me.
don't it?
Yes, sir.
Make you want to do some things.
Makes me want. What kind of thing, Jay?
Hey, I'm just saying, Brad.
There you go. There you
You
go.
ain't leave me this time.
Yeah,
See, that's called the detector. It's
Yeah.
picking you up.
yeah. Welcome back to Bar Talk with Jay. And we are
We just
experiencing
had
a little
a-
difficulty, but we are on fire here tonight for our last show of the year, 2019. And we're going to go ahead and jump right into the subject.
Okay, let's do this.
I'm sure Jay has some perspectives
I got
on the
some
subject.
small things I want to say, but it might take a while. So
The
let's
question
do it.
for tonight is, how can we find our ideal mate?
And one of the things I'm gonna have some fun with this one real quick, because a lot of times I get DMs, where is they at, where you find them, and everybody want to ask me about the date site since I was out there from, and I'm just naming a few, from Meet Me, POF, and some of the rest of them, because people say, some weirdos on there, there's some this, there's some that. Well, hell, even I was on there. One of the things I can tell you is it's not about where you go. It's just understanding the people that you meet. One of the things I tell you is I never disrespected nobody on that site or any site. I don't have to. But my whole thing is how you are is what you're going to gravitate to. I've read profiles that was long and over detailed. I'd be like, if I did all this, I probably don't need you. This is ridiculous. This is a book. I like to know a person. So we're finding ways to know people through text and words, but I need to know you. I need to know the substance.
Yes.
And then I'll say take the time, because before I need to know you, I need to know me.
Yes.
And when I've been through my relationships, what I notice is when you come out of one, you tend to take some of that stuff into the next one.
Describe for me your ideal mate, Jay.
My ideal
Yeah, ideal mate.
is somebody that can see me and look through me to understand me. Because again, if I can tell you what the perfect mate with me would be, I promise you it's probably not what God has for me. Because my perception is built on the world.
And listen,
he has a bigger perspective.
And does that
than me.
mean you'll never cross paths?
No.
You'll never be.
That
You'll
doesn't
never
mean that
find
at all. That means I don't look how everybody else looks.
Well, I mean, what I'm saying is you're looking for something other than what you know God will be looking for. So does that mean that the two paths are never going to meet? They're never going to find.
I feel like what He has for me in my destiny, that person will see it and they will understand my destiny and help me achieve it. See, most people just have a desire for one thing or whatever it might please them. But when I understand somebody, like when I met somebody and I seen that they had some great potential to do something, I helped push them in that potential. Once they got to where they was going, I was no longer a pushing factor. It wasn't for me to be with that person forever. I knew I was a season.
So watch this.
So I got out that
watch
season.
This is what I'm talking about.
And that was the reason.
The question, how can we find our ideal mate, suggests that we're looking for someone to have a lifetime relationship.
Right. And when you know it ain't.
My question to you is, way after the dating process, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is her essentials? What do you know? First of all, do you think that you have a soulmate, that you're going to meet your ideal mate?
Yes.
Do you believe that as you walk through your life that you're going to meet your ideal mate?
Yeah.
And she's going to become Mrs. Hogbrook, and y'all going to live happily ever
I
after?
did that once already, player.
No, you.
I did too. It just didn't work out. You can't say I didn't do it. I did it. It
Well,
just
that's
didn't
what
work out.
so
I thought she was a soulmate.
Listen,
Didn't work out.
In hindsight, do you think she was a soulmate?
Yeah, man,
Yeah.
that was my right, man.
Okay, so soulmates aren't necessarily forever.
We rolled together, bro. We did some things.
So you still consider her your soulmate from that time?
I look at her like that because, we went through some things and we ain't put other people in our business. I don't know there's none younger generation on Facebook and telling it all.
No, stay with me.
We worked through a lot of stuff. It got to a point where we started disrespecting one another and we had to call it quits at that point. Because again, it wasn't gonna go very well for either one of us. So it wasn't an easy road, but I promise you.
Okay, y'all here I'm trying to break this down.
Okay, I'm breaking it down easy.
Well, okay, give me a chance.
I
To do that.
still
Give me a chance to do that.
Go ahead.
And we using your story, so you don't feel left
All day long.
Okay? And so you were soulmates up until the time there became much disagreement. And then you no longer felt that you were soulmates anymore.
Correct.
So your soulmate-hood, your soulmate relationship was based upon you getting along. And then when you no longer get along, then she's no longer and he's no longer your soulmate. Is that how you perceive the idea?
No. What happened was,
Okay.
my ego got in the way of our soulmate because I stopped looking at her as my soulmate. I started looking at my ego and the fact that she just needed to be following me because I'm going places and you just need to be riding with me when I didn't realize she was helping me get to these places. Mm-hmm. She was there consoling me when I was going through some confusing times, and I forgot about that once I rose past that time. Mm-hmm. When I went to the meetings and I nailed it, and I got them bonuses and them big checks, I forgot the person that helped get me and guide me through it. So when I got there and I'm pumped up with all this money and the fact that you ain't really making nothing, so I don't think you really need to be saying much to me. Because you ain't bringing too much to the table at this point. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you keep the house clean, but I bought a bigger house every time you was complaining. Every time you turned the light switch, the lights came on. What you talking about? You wanted a new car, you got one. Everything that you look for, I made it happen. That egotistical behind ass of a person, myself, is why I'm not married today. Because I got stuck there thinking that's the way. Because I'm looking at it and I ain't hearing nobody tell me differently because I'm accomplishing some things.
Yeah.
But they forgot to tell me it wasn't just me. That woman that I was laying next to that was making sure I was healthy, make sure I was fed. That person that was giving me that inspiration when I walked out the door that I love you. I forgot about that.
Go ahead, Jay.
Because I had everybody else in my ear when I got to work because they seen me climbing up. Oh, they was all up in my ear. If she ain't doing something, I got this. You need lunch, baby? What you need? I cook some good meals at home. Well, my wife is doing the same thing.
Right.
Now I'm eating 2 or 3 different meals. I ain't need that. I just wanted something more than I thought. Because it was given to me at a time that I didn't know what I was receiving. But when I lost something, I understand what I lost.
Man, let me tell you what I just heard. I just heard a man once again convicted by his own actions of the past. And I don't know if you know what he just said, but what he really said.
I know what I went through.
what he really said was, it was my fault that the soulmate relationship didn't work.
You gotta take ownership, bro.
And what he really said was that I'm at fault to not having that soulmate relationship. And it's just so radically powerful, Jay, just to admit that, because sometimes it is that is the wall, the hurdle, the obstacle to self-healing. You know, we'll carry those bags and those bundles for long years of time and periods of time because we're not willing to be honest with ourselves about what happened. And so, soulmate relationships oftentimes may have to happen in multiples. It's unfortunate, but it seems that happens to be the sad reality of life. Is that our soulmate no longer is just the one person that they say, first marriages are 50%, second marriages are 75%, and third marriages are 90% successful.
Well, I ain't gonna make it third. This next one ain't it. Yeah, this getting too expensive. They said cheaper to keep it. They wasn't playing.
That's good, Jay. That's good.
We gotta do this a list.
So as we entertain the question, how can we find our ideal mate? The first question is, does our ideal mate exist, right?
Yeah, right.
If you don't believe that they exist at all, you're going to shop for them in a different place than you would if you were looking for a genuine, holistic soulmate, right? So where you find them is oftentimes determined by what you want, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, an easy equation would be a man who, is looking for a good spiritual woman. He probably might find her at the church, okay? He might find her in Bible study, okay?
Good.
It just might happen like that if you're looking for a good woman. But he might be looking for somebody to add a little spice to it.
Let's have some fun. Let's have some fun with this because I hear this all the time, and I'm not saying it's not true, but a lot of times people say, look for a person. Like if you're a spiritual person, look for them in the spiritual realm. Look for them over there. If you're a Christian person, go to church. Find them in church. My whole thing is you weren't all Christian all your life anyway. And my whole thing is throwing a religion in there is not always understanding you. Take the time to understand you better before you start using a denomination to help categorize that you don't even know nothing about. I'm telling you, so many people follow people and you don't even know yourself. The most strongest person is yourself, not the person that you're necessarily following. And if you ain't leading your behind nowhere, why you need to be with somebody?
Right.
That's what I ain't understanding, because you ain't leading a whole group of people nowhere. But you feel you powerful enough to do it because people like you. Watch the likes and understand the people.
Right.
People should be going somewhere. You should be able to see into them.
Right.
And that way you can stop looking where everybody else. Somebody asked me, where you find your perfect man? Do you see somebody perfectly on my side all the damn time? You might not want to ask me that because I don't look how you look. I'm going to tell you, it's not just bring it to the table. Can you understand? I'm already bringing something. Can you understand me? Can we grow? But no, you want to see what you can use and get over. Everybody recognize game. I've been playing chess for a long time, and you still playing checkers. Who you can jump over.
There you go.
I'm trying to find out where we can get to.
So just my 2 cents on the subject, and I appreciate your commentary, Jay. I believe that Mrs. Wright is underway. She is somewhere out there in the world. And my other belief system, just so that y'all know, I think there's probably 10, maybe 20 perfect soulmates for every single person. Right? And so one of those 10 or 20, most valued, beautiful specimens is going to come to the mountaintop and live at the top of the empire with Craftmatic for the rest of our days. And she will be treated with the most exclusive love that she's ever been treated by. And I will give her and shower her with things and stuff and love. There's nothing she can do wrong except for cheat on me.
Well, you got 10. I don't even think it's cheating that one. Polygamy. You got a harem. And she don't need
I'm just suggesting that, there's 8 billion people, man.
Right.
Let's assume there's 4 billion women. You gotta have, there's more than one.
So you just said you got 10. Can I meet 10 not at the same time?
If we look at the stars in the universe, right? we'll automatically be able to assess that based on the number of stars there are, there's probably another 10 or 20 planets that are just like the Earth, right? It's nothing but mathematics, you know what I'm saying? But you got to look at it that way. I think it's important that you look at it that way.
I do too. I'm Captain Kirk, man. I'm a Trekkie.
Yeah.
Because I love Captain Kirk. You know, he been doing things on planets.
So,
I like
and listen, if you don't look at it that way, it's another real nice point. If you don't look at it that way, you're basically giving up on love. You're basically saying, there's nobody out there in the world that's right for me, that could be my side, my ride or die, and so I'm just going to live without love. And I'll promise you, if that's not what God has, for you, you will have made a decision to keep yourself away from love. And you should never do that, because God always has, even if you love and hurt 1,000 times, He still has someone for you.
Right.
And you never give up on love. Never, ever, ever give up on a partnership in the world with another person. If you want to have a wife, you want to have a husband, you gotta believe that they exist and that they're coming. And sometimes what that'll do is cause you to refrain from some of that nonsense that you might otherwise get into. Right? It'll cause you to not go to those extra wild parties because you're like, you know what I'm saying, ain't nothing there, It'll really change and guide your whole spirit if you allow it, right? Because if you acting the fool when Mrs. Wright show up, bruh, she gonna pass you by. You know what I mean? And if you in the wrong places if you go into this wild party, but you should have been at that networking function you went to invite to two weeks ago. If you'd have went to that, she was there waiting for you, right? But your mind was in the gutter, you know what I'm saying, rather than on point, and so you missed the opportunity to find Mrs. Wright. He often doesn't show up.
I wouldn't read.
Looking like what we think he or she should look like, right? And that's probably a whole segment of its own. So
we're gonna get in that too.
Yeah, let's go ahead and take us another break.
Okay.
And sometimes you folk can hear the music, sometimes you can't, just because of the rules of the land.
Yeah, Facebook.
5 minutes before break. Okay. Well, listen, we're gonna keep on it because I got some stuff that's lovely, but it's got a little bad word in it.
Oh, okay. I got some.
Yeah, it's got a bad word.
I got patty back.
So where else? So where do we find these ideal mates? If we believe they exist, they're in the world. Where do we go?
Just look at what you said. We went to that one function, you had that wild party. One of the things I can tell you is when I go out and I have fun and I go to a business function all day long, one of the things about the wild parties, it never should stop your business. My whole thing is my drive. So if I'm going to a business function, I'm not always going there to look for anybody of my potential mate. I'm going there to handle business, but I'm going to talk to people and have an open mind. Okay? So now you can go to the wild party. I ain't looking for my woman at this wild party. I'm having a wild time, but you'll never know who you're gonna meet. It might be a person in the corner that ain't about all that.
Right. Yeah.
But somebody drug her to it, and we might be it all.
Yeah.
I don't
so y'all
know.
Both got drugged to it and met.
No. I ain't. I took it myself. Ain't nobody drugged me for that.
Baby, I ain't never been to one of them parties before. That's the first time I ever. Did you see what they was doing? I can't believe it. I ain't never
y'all
been
need to follow Jay. Jay's driving. You ain't gonna get that out of my ass. Did you? I drove. Talking about your boys took you? No, I knew the place already. I knew the girl that was doing this. You know it because I met her before. This ain't nothing new to me. You know, being wild and living a wild lifestyle is one of the things that's going to be up to you. And I say you have to respect it though. So I already know when I go to certain places not to think everybody's that way. I'm more open-minded, so I meet real good people, even I'm in a wild situation. You think everybody wilding out and crazy. Everybody's not, but some people, I met lawyers. Yeah. She just had to get away. She had a tough case, and she wanted to get away, and she was wilding out, having fun, drinking, and that's not normally her. Didn't see her that way. We talked, we became friends, still friends this very day, and she's still embarrassed where she met me and how we met, but nothing happened like that. But the best thing about it is I respected her. Yeah. I don't have to disrespect anyone no matter what place you at. That's what you got to realize. Yeah. Go to the wildest party. You ain't got to grope nobody. You ain't got to disrespect nobody just because it's a party. Yeah. No, that's your mental. Yeah. I was never mentally messed up like that. I don't have to do that, but I can learn to enjoy. I like comedy. I like to laugh. I don't like nobody so pissy drunk that they don't know what they do. That don't work for me. That's somebody that's want to take over and control somebody. That's your mentality. And that's why I tell people, get in the right mindset. That's why I say I can take somebody to a wild party. I know where they're at because I know I'm going to have a good time. I ain't there for the foolishness though. That's why I don't stay long.
And what I heard you kind of insinuate is that, you ain't looking for Mr. or Mrs. Right at the wild party, but they could very well be there.
Just Mrs. Mr. and Mrs.
They could very well be there.
ATL, you can't say that.
Yeah, I went into, me and my boy, we were just out one night, and down the road was a swingers club, right? So we was like, well, let's see what's going on in here.
Oh, no, we're talking.
So we walked in, and you know what I'm saying, looked around, and really didn't know what was going on, and finally somebody said, hey, you know what I'm saying, if you was with somebody, you could go over there and talk to them, and they could hook up, and everybody could go have a good time. And I was like, I'd be damn, I'd have to bring somebody back with me. So needless to say, I met another single lady, and she and I became great friends, and it was, she wasn't soulmate, but any chance it could have been. It could have been one of those 10, one of those 10 or 20. Huh?
Your soul had a mate.
Yeah. And the places he's referring to, believe it or not, that's like trapeze. They got it here. They got it right down in the Fulton Industrial. I know where it's at. I can take you there anytime. Sunday's a cheaper night.
Location.
I mean, get it because it's a location that's legit. It's a nice. It's clean and dusty. When I tell you, y'all got the wrong thoughts about that kind of club. Where I went, and I went and enjoyed myself. They had food buffet. You bring your own bottle and put a number on it, and then you go to the very back. One of the things you gotta understand, you gotta be mature to walk up in here because it's classy, it's clean, and stuff ain't laying around.
Right.
And it is a business.
Yeah.
They treat it like a business. So for people short-minded, thinking they just go in there and do, well, it can be. But it is something that you just can't think you're gonna fall yourself into. It has to be accepted. It is a clean environment.
Yeah.
For a dirty person just thinking that you listen, it's a business.
And I wonder how many relationships got started.
I don't know about started, but I can tell you I enjoyed myself.
I wonder how many relationships got started because of the strip club.
It depends on what you call a relationship. I enjoyed myself. I don't know about
But how many relationships got started out of Walmart?
All I can tell you is a big old bowl of condoms.
Boy,
Right there when you come out the shop.
listen, Walmart is something special in that.
I love
Man, what are you
Walmart.
talking about? I go to Walmart all the time.
You can meet a lot of people in Walmart.
Yes, you can.
If you got a little heart and you see there's some nice, a bunch of beautiful people in Walmart.
It's some nice, it's some unnice
If you
people
got
too.
a little heart and you know what I'm saying, you got, you can go and talk to women.
I mean, no, you almost gotta have a blind eye. 'Cause all of them ain't nice. It's so bad they got it where you can check yourself out. They know.
So listen, it's it's time for us to take our next break. Yo, what y'all stay tuned. We're gonna be right back with more Bar Talk with Jay right after this. So hard in these segments.
Oh, it's gonna be like this the rest of the show.
Isn't there so
I told you I might have been
Isn't there so much great wisdom in these shows, man?
I'm just trying to tell you, baby.
I consider that wisdom. Would you consider that wisdom? Millennium wisdom? Because we don't really talk about these things in the world. We hear a lot of chatter going on here and there, but we don't really have any real dialogues about this kind of stuff. Meeting people is actually a very important part of life.
Yes, it is.
And, should we be looking for a certain kind of person? Should we be looking for a person in a certain place? Should we be looking for what our hearts desire, or should we be letting those things just kind of happen as we're out in the world? And, that's a question that always, always, what comes first, the chicken or the egg, right? And so if you're, the one thought process is, if you are, if you want something real bad, you just if you want somebody real bad, then you look for them and you start asking questions and you meet somebody and you get somebody to introduce you to somebody, and next thing you know, you're meeting people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or you can just say, you know what, they're just going to show up. They're going to just show up and they're going to be put in my life and it's going to be perfect and it's just going to happen. I think either way can get equal results. Either way can get good results. I'm of the notion that if you want an ideal mate and you have somebody in your life who's not really trying to be an ideal mate,
Right.
You probably should move on, right? You probably should say, well, that's just not the right person, and if it is the right person, maybe not the right time.
Right.
I'll call them up in 10 years if I'm still single.
Oh, no.
Can't happen, right?
Okay.
So, this whole idea of meeting people, particularly our ideal mate,
Mm-hmm.
online in social media is a very interesting topic. There's a lot of people who meet each other, a lot of people who get married based upon meeting online. And now they have these sites that basically can offer you a profile, and these profiles are statistically accurate, and they match you with people who are good for your spirit, your character, what you like and what you don't like.
Depending on how you fill it out.
They have been very successful. Yeah, you can't be drunk when you feel it out.
Not just drunk. You gotta be honest.
Yeah, you gotta be honest. Yeah.
Most people ain't honest.
These statistics, they're pretty much right on because they're not just based on answering a specific way.
Mhm.
They're based on a pattern of thought that, I like tough, rough people. I like really nice people. And you're going to start to find yourself throughout the questions falling into kind of a middle road continuum where here's the sweet spot for the kind of person you like. Here's the person that don't talk too much. Here's the person that, maybe very successful, but they're modest about it. They're going to be right in your sweet spot. And I think they're good. They're good. There are many people who can try and be successful. There are many of us who are not open to it or maybe a little afraid of it, that it probably would work for us if we tried it. I haven't done a whole lot of that. Every time I've been on there, I've been very successful, but I haven't.
Successful. What's the problem?
Well, something about it is, they all seem to end.
They ain't successful.
But that don't mean they're not successful now.
That don't mean
because
they
I
ain't
wasn't always
successful.
having pure intentions going in.
Right. That mean you have your goals
I get out of
fulfilled.
it. Yeah, I get out of it what I potentially want out of it, but.
Did I just hear a magical word?
Right.
Young Jay?
Is that what I want?
No, I mean nothing wrong with the won't. It sounds like you got some things taken care of, player.
I was a young man.
You're-
Okay.
I was a young man.
At least we get that out
I met a
of
lot of beautiful people. You know what I
Ain't
mean?
nothing wrong with that. Beautiful people
and,
nice.
and the last time I
Half
was
on
on it,
crazy.
within, probably within a week, man, I had like 12 quality people who was ready to talk and hang out and go do stuff.
So you
I just
prep your women.
I just decided
You
not
got a little
to.
list.
No, not
I
prep.
got you,
I'm not
baby.
prepping. I do a little assessment.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm prepping. That's
I got an
assessment.
interpersonal assessment.
I did that before
Right?
too.
Yeah. And where'd you end up?
Shit, single. I mean, it worked for a while. It's just, everybody got their own goals and their own dreams. So, again, when you get these people and you think, okay, I got all these people on the roster, I found out half of them couldn't play. So, they look good,
Scouting.
but you got to remember, if you are a coach of your destiny, you got to know who's playing, who's on the bench, and who's going to be in the stand. And that's just life. And a lot of times, you got people out there that ain't playing very well, but they look good. And that's not going to achieve the goal of the whole game. And then you got people on the bench starving to get out there to show you, but they don't look the part, but they can do it. But of course, you got the star person out there, because star power, they look good, but they ain't achieving nothing.
Ain't nothing.
So again, you got to understand
Beautiful
performance.
women.
And that's why I said you just can't just look at looks. You have to look at a person's performance, what a person is willing to do. Because if a person wants to be that star player for you, they're willing to achieve a goal of yours. That's yours. A coach is trying to get you to a desired outcome. And you got to be able to help fulfill that. A good-looking person just want to be a star. I just want to be seen. And underneath you, I can be seen, so I'm just going to look good. And I don't care what the team do, okay? that ain't gonna be a star person on my team long.
Short term.
But when I was young, it was my star person
I like
that
that.
I rocked
Listen,
with
it-
for a long
And
time.
what you said is look beyond the looks.
absolutely.
Hey, that's right.
Look
At that
beyond the
time, I
looks.
wasn't looking past nothing. I was like, shit, she puff out her, man.
Yeah, and you hear me say this all the time. Your ideal mate doesn't look like what you think they ought to look like. You're gonna have to turn through a few of those pages, get through the few, the first few chapters of the book before you begin to understand who they are. And even sometimes then, you're not gonna know who they are. You'll just begin to understand their tendencies. And tendencies is a very interesting word.
Ooh,
The things
okay.
that they,
We digging that.
the things that they tend to do.
You're right.
Right.
Intention is a mug.
Right.
That's like a desire.
Right.
Because we all
But-
go into things with a desire. I don't care. When I go to a party, I might not go to meet a person, but I go to have a good time.
Yeah.
I desire to have a little bit of comedy. I'm going to look for stuff that I can talk about to bring a little humor to the
Right,
situation.
right.
So I have a little thought about what I'm about to walk myself into. Instead of saying I'm completely open, I have a little small ideal what I enjoy to do. So I'm going to bring me into a party. And that's what I normally do when I go to a function. Now, I know some people that sit around like, it's going to be another boring party. You ain't been around my ass. Because I'm telling you now, I'm talking about you. You sitting over there in your phone, looking all down. I be like,
Hey, you
girl,
know what,
I mean, you ain't ugly, but the way you keep looking down and you ain't looking up, I can drop something on you.
You know what,
Get
man?
teabagged. Fuck around with me. You better look up. You better pay attention.
I have been in places, and you can identify with this, right?
Okay, go ahead.
Where the place is popping, right?
Mhm.
The place is popping. But, like, the women in the room was, I don't know, shy, or they was all standoffish, and they all attitude, like, right? And so, I'm the kind of person, I'm gonna dance no matter what.
Right.
I'm gonna get up and dance. So I was like, the hell with it. After a while, I got up and danced, and next thing you know, this reasonably attractive woman came over and started dancing with me.
Said reason. She seen at that time. Once I got sober, it changed my whole life.
Man, we was under the flashing lights, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
She
You
got
was
the
blinded.
job, she got the job done.
She got the job done.
Flashing lights, you know what I'm saying?
But the steady light came on. Oh, Lord, I gotta go.
The point is that you can't be all standoffish, man. You can't be so closed in your world. I see tables and tables of women. They come out dressed the best to meet somebody.
Right.
But they ain't opening themselves up. They sitting at a table closed off where, a man gonna have to come and address you and all your friends if he want to talk to you.
Okay.
And if you in that position all night long, you're not gonna meet him. And he probably over the other side of the spot, checking you out, may have given you some eye contact. He may have passed by a couple times. You know what I'm saying? Checked you out. You know he's there, but you off in a closed environment. You and your girls. You ain't gonna get nothing sitting there with your girls. Get up, go walk over by the dance floor, ladies. You know what I'm saying? Make your groove known if you got a little flavor in you. And he gonna see it. Somebody gonna see it.
Right.
And if nothing else, you know what I'm saying? He might get a chance to watch you dance from across the room.
Right.
But
It's not.
you can't sit in your corner, man.
Y'all just keep sitting in that corner. And when Jay come there, I'm sitting there with y'all. I'm gonna show sit down. I ain't gonna know none of y'all. And I'm gonna sit down because I'm just wondering why y'all in this dark corner. We've got achievements. We ain't on the back of the bus no more. Why we over here in the goddamn car by ourselves?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have fun no matter where I go.
Yeah.
But the whole thing is you. The number one reason why I have fun, because I've been through some things, and it's not about that I have to pour out. I want to pour out the happiness of all I've been through, and he got me through.
Yeah, there you go.
I've been on the path, and he helped me through. So why am I so bitter? Every bad relationship, every bad thing you've been through, you shouldn't be bitter about. It's a lesson when you learn from it.
Be
If
better,
you
not bitter.
still harvesting the pain of what a person did to you, you didn't learn nothing. You still harvesting the pain, not the lesson. And that's what I run into a lot. You got to release some things to gain some things. We still holding on to some things because no one's really teaching.
Yeah.
And I can't preach that and teach it to you because I'm already living it. So why are you so wild? And I'm not wild. After a while, I go to sleep. Crab will tell you. We can have fun. Crab, look for me. I'm gone. I'm not trying to be outlasting everybody. It's not for me. But I'm going to have fun when I'm going though. I'm going at 100.
Oh, I know
All
you're
right,
going at 100.
We
Yeah.
going at 100.
Yeah.
Now, after that 100, about 11, 12 o'clock, hey, you can look Jay snoring over there. over there. Okay, so just leave me alone, and I got
deal based.
But that's not my idea, because if you ain't understand that, you'll be over there bothering me.
Hey, listen, if you don't get your swarm home for 9 o'clock,
Yeah.
you'll lose, Jay.
Yeah, you better be real good.
I thought you pull up at 9.
Nah, man.
Pull up.
I met a whole lot of them on Tinder. They couldn't keep me woke. Now, I ain't talking about the site. I'm just talking about some of the people.
Yeah, hey, listen, let's go ahead and take another break. We are all over the place, but it's great dialogue, man. Y'all stay tuned. We're going to be right back with more Bar Talk with Jay.
Everybody get it going, good. We got King in the building. Gotta make sure we're nice. We got my bartender in the very, very back. Got my son, Booby, everybody out. Support the show like they always do. Nothing but love for everybody. You know,
Yes.
especially after the Christmas holidays. I hope everybody enjoyed. The ones that didn't celebrate Christmas, one of the things I want you to do is make sure you're around family members and people that love you. And that way right there is a celebration of life.
Yes.
That means a lot to me. So if you're doing any of these things, man, I'm hoping you are enjoying yourself and enjoying this show.
Yeah.
But Kraft, it's about time to get down to the down and dirty, baby. Everybody want to know some things about this dating thing. And again, I'm giving my opinion from a person who's been divorced already, so I'm not saying I'm a perfect person who's been with a person on just one time and no time, or saying anything of that nature. I'm just giving an opinion. One of the things I want to do is get you to understand you, not just look at me. But I'm going to put myself on a pedestal to get knocked off, because mistakes has happened and I'm owning them. But again, just because I'm getting knocked off, don't mean I quit.
Well,
What you got?
I'm kind of interested in your mistakes, Jay, but
Oh, are you?
for those of you who have an interest in finding someone to be in your life, on social media, on the internet, online, I think we all could use a little bit of an education. Now, where do you go? And maybe some ways to open people's minds and hearts to you. So where do you go, Jay? Tell me about
I went to a lot of different places. So one of the things I gotta say is you gotta do a little homework. If you looking to be no strings attached, you just trying to have some fun, then go to a fun website.
Which is?
I don't know if I just want to throw them out there, but I've been to Meet Me.
Meet Me? Okay.
Meet Me, I got some people on there that said they want serious relationships. People state what they want. But on a site like Meet Me, you can go live and do nothing all day and sit around. Oh, you can't be serious about meeting nobody and you sit around doing nothing. You ain't asking for nothing. So my whole thing is some of the things that they got is just kind of cute. Tinder, POF. Now these sites, people have met their soulmates, as they say. I can't tell you. I can just tell you I met some people that were some good people.
Yeah.
That might necessarily be for me, but I couldn't find that out till I started deep conversation. And it's past the site. It's past the looking. But one of the things I can tell you on the upfront with any site is the disrespect I see immediately. When I see somebody getting my DM with daddy, hold on. Hold on. I ain't trying to look at my daughter when I'm messing with somebody. Daddy. Calling me that. I ain't been with that girl. You know what I'm saying? Daddy. You know what I'm saying? You think that's cute? That ain't cute to me.
Maybe met a mama.
I'm old enough to be your daddy.
And I like that. Call
No,
me daddy.
you don't need to call me daddy. I ain't daddy yet.
Poppy.
I'm just talking here. Well, I like Poppy. I like Poppy. Well, y'all know about that. Now, you gotta be in that position. One of the things I'm telling you is on the upfront. I ain't met you. And the first thing you say, ooh, we should looking for daddy. I'm hearing game. I'm hearing game on
a
the
lot of
upfront.
game on those sites.
So you have to watch it, but dialogue can teach you a lot. I ain't know about P2P, 2P2.
What?
Pay to play.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I had to find out. Pay to play.
Okay.
I pay what? You know what I'm saying?
What was that?
That was some money.
Sound like digital prostitution.
No, ain't no digital. Oh, that's just straight. You know what I'm saying? You gotta come off them ends. You know what I'm saying?
Just to be their friend?
I was trying to tell me I don't pay for no stuff, but I pay to make you leave.
Yeah.
People don't want to leave. You know what I'm saying? They get in, oh, that was so good, but you going home, right? No, I'm trying to get them Uber and stuff, and they talking about, I can't go home. Well, yeah, you can.
Where did you just go to, man?
Yeah, where I'm about to leave from, where you ain't gonna be. It ain't gonna stay.
So-
See,
so
you
these-
gotta different places. And again, I ain't putting sites as the negative. You gotta understand the people, because no matter
You gotta
what
understand the
site
people.
it could be, what's your intent?
Yeah, for those of you people who just refuse to meet somebody online, you refuse to meet somebody other than a hand that you shake or somebody you see in the real world, you could potentially be missing out on a lot of opportunity. You don't have to necessarily be being Mr. or Mrs. Right. It could just be some friends, some people to get to know other people. But if you go on there to find friendship or company, there's plenty of it. And if you don't miss the mark in the first 2 or 3 rounds, just keep trying and you'll get what you're looking for.
And
But-
remember, stay honest.
Stay honest.
Even on that
yes.
site, and it's a lot of texting, and you ain't always doing video chatting. Because it's texting, it's easy to give a perception of what you want to be. I ain't saying you got to tell somebody you broke, or tell them your worstest thing, or you down in the hole. No. Just be honest about your intent.
Yeah.
If I'm looking for and I see it all the time, I'm looking for a serious relationship. Is it a serious one because you just got out of them? And that's what you want to get yourself right back into? Because you seriously need to take time for yourself. So I read a lot of different things in there. But one of the things I'm not trying to do is give it to anybody. So I don't read profiles. And I get that all the time. Did you read my profile? It makes me feel like I got to go back and do research. And I'm not looking for you like that. I'm trying to push my show. I'm trying to understand what goes on in the dating realm. But to some people, I need you to make sure you read my profile
watch
and
this.
understand where I'm coming from.
Okay, watch this. And I think that's a fantastic point to discuss.
Pre-illusion
So,
standards.
I'm kind of interested to know how you get to that person. I know you can get to them.
Oh, yes.
But how do you break bread if you don't know anything about their profile? I mean,
I
how do you
first of all-
surpass the profile,
First
Jay?
of all, I can go past any profile because it's about me. So
How do you
when I
find
go
them?
into a DM, when I go anywhere, one of the things I am very confident in me.
How cute they are? Is that how you make
Being
the
honest
decision?
with you, I'm just out there. I put it all the way out there. So certain people I might just hit on, as in you just comment. Like when I would see somebody, and this is your age group from 30 to 45. And it gives me all these people. So anybody nearby and somebody that look like they intelligent, somebody that might be interested in talking in a dialogue, because again, I'm trying to push the radio show. These are the ones I'm just looking at, and I'm throwing respectful things. Good evening. Okay, I'm not saying baby, I ain't saying honey. I am saying small words, because again, you gotta accept me. My whole thing is, hey, good evening, hello,
listen,
and next thing I know, they asking, because then they read my profile. My profile is what need to be read.
King, I need you to help me understand what he just said,
I
right?
mean, come on here.
It sounds like he's fishing.
Yeah,
Right?
I'm fishing.
And so he'll go on this site and he'll play with about 100 women, and
Or two.
whoever texts back, whoever message back is the ones that can come into the game.
That's the only ones I can talk to.
Is that how it worked out?
That what you gotta think about it, Kraft. I throw myself out there for anybody to see me. So if you gon'
We're not talking about business. We
No, I mean,
talking about personal. That's how
even in personal, if you gonna get out there, you make a profile all day long, and you might get somebody to look at you and like your look and like whatever you might have wrote. Well, there's gonna be a lot of people that don't always go on that site. They ain't got time.
Yeah.
So they're gonna go to their DM. They ain't gonna always just be scrolling through. They're gonna look who at their DM. So all of a sudden they see me in that DM player. And then they go back and they read, because they want to know who am I in their DM.
Right.
Now they read my profile, then you got a common interest right there. You started off by, because again, women like to be chased. So you got to throw the hook
Start
out.
their profile
Because again,
picture,
they
that's what I
whole thing,
heard.
they like to be chased. Here you go. Hello. A respectful hello. Not baby. Please, if you out there today,
Respectful.
quit
Respectful.
saying
Yeah.
baby, honey, and all this. You don't know her like that.
Okay.
Just respect her. Good evening. Hello. Simple. When she respond back, then it's a dialogue. At that point, you got her interest. Now, it's on you. I don't want
Now
to
it's
teach
on
everybody
you.
how to be a player.
Yeah.
If you don't know how to talk to her, you're going to lose her anyway. That's you.
right.
But to me, you can have a conversation off of you, because now she's interested in you. And if you don't know how to keep a person enthused, then don't go on these sites.
Yeah.
That ain't what you want to
Let me
do.
tell you, you can't be meeting people with nothing to say.
No, that's boring.
You can't.
I hang up on
You got to have a little spark about your, I've seen lots of those messages, and I've sent a bunch of them. But I've seen lots of those messages that, just sound like everyday messages. How you doing? How was your day? You know what I'm saying? Be like, damn, bro, if your day was hot as you look on that picture, I'll be over there tonight. You gotta create some flavor in your dialogue. That's part of the swag of communication. I was doing a segment on Minecraft recently, and I was talking about how we get messages through in communication. And so when you're in front of a person, 10% of the message happens through words, 30% of the message happens through tone of voice, and the other 60% happens through body language, right? But when you're on the phone, or sometimes when you're online, then 30% is tone of voice and 70% is 30% is words and 70% is the tone of your voice, the tone of your message. So you gotta have some smoothness in your messages, or you're gonna run people away. You can't be too aggressive. You can't be too action oriented. You just gotta be, it's gotta be a lift spirit kind of dialogue. And it's gotta be friendly. It's gotta be, it can't be tying nobody down with questions, Don't ask for their number. They'll let you know when they're ready, right? After 10, 15, 20, of those, if it looks like y'all had meaning enough dialogue, you look back at the thread and say, yeah, we've been chopping it up. Then you might say, hey, I'd love to talk with you sometime. Would you be open for that? Don't press the issue too much, because if you press the issue too much, they're gonna think you're like everybody else, just trying to get their number, right? And who knows what you do with their number? Do you do something righteous with it, or do you do something other than? You got to really have your cards together to be able to kind of date online and meet these ideal mates. You got to be decisive, and I tell you, I remember going through Tinder. I remember going through several of them, and the photos that you use on that site are what people determine. They kind of determine who you are. It's almost like you can look into a face and you can be like, oh yeah, she seems cool, and she might not be, but you'll at least get some kind of chemistry if you got good pictures up there, real pictures.
No filters.
Yeah, not no 10-year ago pictures when you went to the wedding party that day.
No.
You need some up-to-date pictures.
I'm like King.
Selfies are cool.
You 40 years old with a filter on your behind. I'm just saying, you're on the J site, bro.
Yeah, that's
with
right.
a filter.
Yeah, that's because it make their skin real pretty. You know what I'm saying?
So would you cover it up?
It make their skin kind of glow. You know what I'm
So
saying?
when I see you with light, so when I see you with the light on, we got another problem.
But you ain't gonna sit with the light on the first date, because you're gonna meet in the dark. You're gonna meet at a club, a bar, or
Did I
something. You know what I'm
explain that
saying?
last time about that?
That's when you normally meet in the dark, secluded place.
The low light lurking.
And then
I got a flashlight in my pocket.
a week later, y'all gonna wake up together, and when that sunlight hit her, you'll be like, damn.
It ain't gonna take no week.
It ain't gonna take no week.
I got a flashlight in my pocket. We gonna get this right here.
Yeah.
Looking to the light.
So it's important to put a good picture up there, put a good profile up there. People do read profiles. I know women are very
picky.
They're very adamant about following through on what you said in your profile. So if you said that, you're looking for somebody long term, that they expect you to be that person, right? If you just want to have fun, they expect you to say you just want to have fun. You know what I'm saying? Don't have fun and then fall in love. You're like, damn, I thought you just wanted to have fun, right? That's what you said on your profile. You told the whole world that you just want to have fun. Now you want to fall in love, right? After that date.
I'm glad you did that lead in, because that's what happens.
That's what happens.
You can write and tell a person all about you. That don't mean that they read and believe it. They're going to go off of your actions, okay? So that's why I tell people, you can write anything you want. Number one thing is you got to go by the actions of the other person, because, again, you don't know who's playing what, who's desiring what. But one of the things I can tell you is, if I tell you on my profile and I tell you in person, this is how I am, this is what I want. And, again, we having conversations, we date, take you out, we enjoying each other. I'm going to probably show you still respect. I'm going to show you a gentleman, okay? But that's not what I'm showing up for, saying that I don't want to be in a monogamous relationship, this, that, the other. But I've never said I was going to show you any kind of disrespect or treat you any kind of side way. When you call for my help and you look for me, I'm going to be there. Why? Because that's just a genuine good dude that I am. I shouldn't be that way with everybody, but no one told me I have to be disrespectful to anyone. I choose to be that way. So it can be throwing some people off, but I'm just a genuinely good guy. It might be different than some, but again, I like to feel like I'm all the rest. So now all of a sudden, somebody's not paying attention to what I wrote or what I said, and they put me in the position of husband. I want you as just mine. I don't want you to be with anybody else. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's a dialogue that we gotta have, And it's something that I'm got to be willing to give up. And I have to ask people all the time, are you willing to bring a person from his happiness? Because at this time, I'm happy with myself. Not just for the fact that I date all the time. I sleep by myself. That's what brings me my happiness. Because at one time, I was scared to be by myself. I'm not scared to tell nobody my fears. After my divorce, the one thing I never wanted to do was be alone. And after that, and all the hurt and pain, that's one of the things. Now, don't get me wrong, I have my kids. But my kids can't get in my bed. They can't help me in that facet, in that form. They are to be strong on their own. So I got to be strong for them when they don't even know the pain that I go through. That I'm in and out feeling this pain. I lost a person of a soulmate. That I have to live this life now wondering, is life even worth living? Well, it damn sure ain't worth dying because I have kids. I have other responsibilities. I got responsibility with my job. People look up to me. So you got all this pressure, but you still empty. So when I hear about somebody going through something, I understand the loneliness. You could be with somebody and still be alone. Yeah. You got to get these things resolved. It took a while for me to get it resolved. And I'm cool with it now, but I had to go through a process. People out there hurting, and they feel like somebody else can fix them. I promise you, you're going to hurt them before you fix you. And that's the sad reality about dating.
Hurt people.
So now, hurt people. So I'm not hurt no longer. So I ain't out to hurt nobody. But I see hurt, and I understand hurt. But I'm not going to let her hurt me.
Right.
I've been there. I'm not going back. So before it happens with me, with you, I will cut loose. Because it's not worth it. But my whole thing of being there for you, even though I'm not looking for all that what you might be looking for, is I can help show you some of the healing processes that I had to go through. And again, that's just be willing to accept. You have to be willing to accept change, because a perfect person is a person that understands there is nothing perfect in this world.
Yeah, and I think the best way to kind of shop for an ideal mate is to really look for friendship. Just look for friendship, look for companionship. Those who can be a part of your life, be a part of your heart, be a part of your world, they'll come close to you, right? And you don't need friendship. So it ain't like you're just going to be bringing somebody into your world because you need a friend, but you're not going to throw away good people, because good people will respect your boundaries. Hey, he's out there looking, and, he may not be your type of guy, but he's cool, you know what I'm saying? He ain't pressed you about nothing. He has been disrespectful. That, he can be in your friends. He can, DM you every once in a while, see what's happening. Maybe y'all end up meeting at, bar for happy hour or whatever, just to chop it up, whatever, you have to find a way to really just get out and start meeting people. You may go on a date with somebody from one of those sites, and the guy to your right just might be the jackpot. You just never know how these things are going to happen, but it's not going to happen in most cases sitting in your living room. You can make a lot of progress on these sites, but if you're not getting with people, then you're not really breaking bread. You're not really taking advantage of the site. The site is designed for you to meet them and then start enjoying life with them. And if you're not enjoying life with them, or figuring out if you could enjoy life with them, you're just playing a big game that you never finish, right? And that happens a lot. People are on these sites, and it is time consuming, and it does require your specific attention. If you're in those sites and you sent somebody a message, potentially their life could be so caught up they might not come back to those sites for weeks. Yeah. They may, and some of those sites will send your email a message saying, hey, somebody tried to contact you, but you can't quite remember who they are, and you can't quite remember, what you said to them. And then, weeks later, months later, you go back in those sites and there was somebody trying to holler at you. It does require time. It does require effort, and it does require you to be somewhat attentive if you're going to build a relationship. If you go on there today and you introduce yourself to 5 or 6 people, those 5 or 6 people are probably going to be trying to say hello to you in the next coming days. So you got to be available, right? Mm-hmm. And open that website up, open that app up, and see what they got to say. See if they're interested in having a dialogue. If you don't like going back and forth with DMs and text messages and stuff, ask them to pick up the phone and talk to you. There's no harm in that, right? But sitting in your living room ain't gonna get you no closer to your ideal mate.
But I tell you, on those sites, they'll be wanting to give up their number. It kills me. you know, you want me to sit here. You already on your phone, but you feel like I don't want to give up my number because you could be crazy, stalker, this, that, the other. And I'm cool with it half the time. But I'm not going to keep entertaining all the time. And I already let you know.
Well,
like in the entertainment, I'm in talk radio. What?
That's what Messenger is for.
Man,
I don't have
what?
to share my phone.
I mean, I don't.
Right?
You
and we
go,
can call and have a FaceTime.
What? If
right?
you go to Messenger, that's they choose. But I'm just saying, like, if you own the Meet Me, and you
What's
own
up,
some of the rest
man?
of them,
Yeah.
you know, you own them and you just say, you know, text me, this, that, the other. A lot of times you get the text back. I don't know. You like, let's stay right here. Now, the second thing is, some will lead you away. Now, if I'm already on one site, why am I going to another site to further talk to you? That I got to get another app on my phone? This don't make sense.
Sometimes,
People-
Jay. Sure, young people do that. Young
Oh, yeah,
people
they do.
They go to
They-
multiple sites.
They do.
They move a little
And that's
faster
what they
than
do.
us.
And that young ass need to keep on with them other young people. I ain't doing all that. But that's where you got to draw your line. It's okay. I ain't saying nothing's wrong with it. It's up to what you used to. I wasn't used to this when I first got out here. I had to learn some of this. And now that I learned some of it works for me, a lot of it don't. I'm not staying on any site for a very long time. If you go to POF, you'll see a profile. I don't go to POF no more. It's still there. I just, it's a free one. I don't care. Meet Me. I don't go to Meet Me no more. I am promoting the show. You can see my profile and what I had to say about my show there. If you really want to talk to me, only thing I can say is you can find me. I'm not hard to find. But it takes you to do a little research and understand me before you come for me. Don't just look for me and think this is what you want. Don't listen to the show and think I am what you want. It's more to me than this. This show is me. It's me for a reason. I've been through some things and I'm willing to give some things back. But don't let my hardship or my pain be your gain. It might not be for you. Because I'm real about it. I understand my pain. And it ain't for somebody else just to gain on me. It's just to realize what we all somewhat go through. And just have a great conversation and dialogue. That's all I'm talking.
There you
I'll
go.
go to break.
Let's go ahead and take us another break. On fire, Jay. We're going to be right back with more Bar Talk with Jay right after this.
Welcome back.
You
Bar
don't know
Talk
nothing
with
about
Jay.
that, Jay.
Man, let me tell you, man, music.
That's that fire, boy.
Man, back in the day when I was younger, one of the things I can tell you, and I know a lot of people are uncomfortable about talking to somebody, but one of the things I can tell you when I was younger, and this young, just before having sex, and I always loved hitting to a person's head. So when I was dating, one of the things that I had to do was start a dialogue, and I would sit on the phone all night.
Sit on the phone
Man,
all
and
night
I'm talking
long.
about it was never boring.
Right.
Now, I gave one line, and I know some of y'all might have done this before. And I said, you know something? I hate it when somebody hang up on me. And it's like, well, why would somebody hang up on you? You just seem so nice. And it's like, I know, I like to talk a lot. So, I'll be on the phone with you. All of a sudden, boo. That's just rude. Just to hang up on a person and be like, man, I don't understand why people do that. Because I would never just want to hang up on you. I want to be on the phone with you all night. And then, of course, then mama would get on the phone. Get off the phone, Ian! I'd be like, well, we got to get off now, Because, you wouldn't like to be on the phone all night. I'm young now. So, I get on the phone this night, and mama gone, out doing whatever. I'm on the phone with her, and we talking. And, bro, we talk till I fall asleep. I'm probably snoring on the phone.
Yeah.
And I wake up, I hear her. She ain't really snoring, but I hear her breathing. I'm like, I would probably snore so loud I woke myself up. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Girl, you there? Yeah, yeah, man. You sleep? I said, girl, why don't you just hang up? Because you don't like when somebody hang up on you.
Oh,
See,
Lord.
No, you can say what you want. She listened.
Jedi
She
mind
listened.
trick,
It was a Jedi, but guess what? This wasn't when we was doing anything, bro. This lets you know it's a real thing when you
all
hang.
come together.
And
like
she
that.
like, I listened enough and cared enough that I would stay on the phone with you and fall asleep with you, then just get off the phone. So I already know how the mental really works. So it's like, wow, you able to get a person to do that, and we young. I mean, when innocent stuff happening here, we real talking and on the phone, nothing happening for real. You see them, you just walking holding hands. That's how young I am. So it just lets you know when you meet somebody that's genuinely really want to be close to you, compared to somebody that just wants you.
Yeah, listen, those late night phone calls, those all night phone calls, those are fabulous, man.
I miss them, bro.
They just
still
are
have
so
them.
swell. It's just something about them, it's just awesome. You
Yeah,
know
but they
what I
hang up on me now. I go to sleep, go to snore, and they be like, that's too
Yeah,
much.
well, you don't sleep so damn early.
I mean,
you know
you
what I'm saying? So,
I'm getting older, man. I can't stay.
Yeah, let's talk about
I'm taking my Geritol,
meeting
so.
people in real life, eye to eye, FaceTime, FaceTime.
Old school modern.
Old school, there you go. Old
Now-
school, meeting people. How do you meet people? Where do you go to meet people, Jay?
Let me tell you, this is something that I also noticed. That's probably why I didn't have a problem going to date sites and everything else. I used to go to clubs a lot when I was younger.
Okay.
And when you go to club, that was you being more genuine, because when I walked in the club, I ain't know who liked me. Okay?
Right.
I amped up. I am with my brothers. We worked all week, and we did this every Friday night. We got off work. We'll take a minute. We'll have a beer. We'll get together, get dressed, and we going, back in the day, Club Marcos.
Okay.
We knew the club.
Okay.
All right? We go there, and we went to holler at women. Okay? We all say we went to holler. So we go there, and it was a challenge. Because you know your brothers is doing the same thing you doing. So you want to come up before them. It's just a challenge. So it had to build your confidence up. Because a lot of times, my brother will walk in there, just walk up to him. Man, ain't nobody walking my little skinny behind, so I'm pissed off. I'm sitting there like, this is going to make this challenge even worse. Because he turned her away. So to me, he had dime up already. But he turned her away for whatever reason, made me mad. But you can't holler at her. You already know how we roll. We brothers. So I got to go to the other side of the club, and I got to find me one. Now I walk up to her. Now you got to remember, you don't know if she like you or not. But I have to be respectful. So I'm trying to get her eye. I'm hoping she's giving me the eye.
Okay.
At this point, I'm getting a little desperate.
Okay.
I'm going to walk up at this point and just shoot my shot. So, of course, politely, how are you doing tonight? I just seen you sitting by yourself. Are you with a friend? So naturally, no, I'm just with my girlfriend. She went to the bathroom. Can I just sit with you for a moment? Yeah, I mean, but again, if you ain't trying to, well, I just got out of a bad relationship, I'll tell you what. It sounds like you just trying to have a great night. I'm going to leave you alone. Now, I shoot that one. I shoot that one. No, I'm going to tell you, that one right there leaves a person to say that I'm respectful enough to know sometimes they don't want to be bothered. I've sat next to the wall. It came back for me, bro.
She does want to be bothered.
She do.
Stop making excuses,
no, bro.
man.
She do. So when I'm sitting over there with my brothers now, remember my brother had one walk up to him. Now she walked up to me and said, I at least want to have a dance with you. So you got to remember, when you meet somebody that used to somebody be more aggressive. When I seen sometimes people just want to have a good time without being harassed, I gave her that space. So when I walk back to my brother, I'm sitting with my brother like, didn't work out well for you, huh? And I'm laughing. I was like, hey, you know, she just wanted to have a good night. So again, I ain't up on nobody else. I'm chilling. She comes to me. Do you want to dance? Now I love to dance. We out there on the floor cutting the road, had a great night. Whole attitude changed. Everything she was talking about, she really wasn't with nobody. She did have a breakup, but at that point, she just wanted me to go. She just didn't know if it was me or not. So she judged me. She shot me down, but the night still turned out great. I didn't give up on her. I disrespected her space. You can't disrespect a person's space. Just because you at a club and you want something doesn't mean you're going to have to manufacture that right there.
Yeah.
It might not happen that way, but when you give a person an opportunity to assess you, and remember, I'm at a club now, so I'm getting small vibes. Now, if I went from her table to another table, she probably wouldn't say nothing to me. I seen her. I thought we might have had eye contact. I ain't seen nobody next to her. I come back. I shoot my shot. She kind of shoot me down. Instead of being F you, forget you, and all this negative, I was like, oh, you just trying to have a good time by yourself. I got that. And then I walk off. I ain't run nowhere else. I just went back. And, of course, I had to get the mud from my brother. And anyway, but it's good, you know, because it builds character. It wasn't like I had to prove anything to my brother. He was just picking with me. That's all it was.
Yeah.
But picking, guess who picked later on that night? Because I was on the floor. That girl walked up with you. She didn't leave with you. Guess who I left with, player? You know, but again, all this is confidence in yourself. Our conversation, our dialogue, everything came back from a confidence within you.
And listen, here's the norm that happens in bars and clubs, right? you get all nice and dressed up, and you're looking at yourself in the mirror like you feel good about yourself. You wanna go to the spot, you wanna meet somebody, you wanna holler at somebody, and you get to the spot, and it's popping, you know what I'm saying? You want to drink, you want to move a little bit, and then all of a sudden you get into a comfort zone, and you sit in that same chair, that same corner, all night long, and now everybody, you know, they done walk past you 2 or 3 times, so, you know, after the second time, you be like, well, you ain't stopped the first 2 times, then you want to stop the third time. See, the problem
You didn't make the roster.
is that once you settle down in almost any environment, it's hard to get up and go and talk to the other person. Once you seated and you are stable kind of in that environment, it could be a big party, it could be a club room, it could be anything. But the point is you kind of got to keep moving and you kind of got to make your presence known, right? So, the point I wanted to make out of what you were saying, Jay, is that you got up and you took your jump shot. You can't sit back when you're around people and not take your jump shot. There's too many times, and it's happened to all of us, that we were getting eye contact, we were making a little connection with somebody, and when we leave the party that night, you was like, man, I should have hollered at her. I don't know why I didn't holler at her, man. She was giving me all the signs, and you have all these regrets, and that could have been someone special. You know what I'm saying? If nothing else, that could have just been a new friend in your arsenal of friends. But you can't sit on the sideline when it comes to meeting people. Not necessarily finding your ideal mate. Let's just say that's a passive part of you out meeting people. You're out meeting great people. All of a sudden you run into somebody who could be considered a soulmate. You run into somebody who you like, somebody who you would date. But you got to shoot your jump shot. And there's too many of us in these environments not shooting a jump shot. Now, I learned a long time ago how to shoot my jump shot, and my technique kind of works for me. And I don't,
I mean, I want to know all. Yeah, I want to know your technique.
I mean, you gotta just make your presence known. You know what I'm saying? If I see somebody I like, I might wave at them a little bit and get their attention. And if I might wave at them, and if they give me a lot of connection there, I might like, hey, come here for a second. You know what I mean? And either one or two things gonna happen. Either she gonna come over, or she gonna be like, well, come over here. And I'll be like, I'll be happy to come over there. It's negative reverse, right? But I didn't sit on the sideline, right? I made my presence known, whatever that was. I might go up and I might say some nice things about what you're wearing tonight, or your hair's beautiful. I love your earrings. Man, you look great tonight. I bet you spent a long time getting dressed for the night, huh? Oh yeah, you come here often? Oh yeah, next thing you know, I'm in a whole conversation. Where you from? What's going on? One of the greatest tools you can use to talk to women, guys, is questions. Stop making the world about yourself. When you're meeting a woman, you have to almost, to some degree, your spirit has to become vested in her. That means you're going to either make her laugh or you're going to show interest in her. One of the two. That's the way to break bread. You're going to make her laugh or you're going to show interest in her. You show interest in her by asking questions. Women love to talk about their life and their world. And they feel connected to you. You can sit in on several occasions. I'll sit in the conversation with a woman and she's just talking and talking and talking and talking. And at the end of the conversation, it's like she feels closer to me and I ain't done nothing. I've done nothing but listen.
Yeah,
right?
ain't nobody else trying to do all that.
But the whole time she's talking, I know she's buying in. She's buying into me. She's buying into who I am. She done looked at my shirt and my beard and my shoes. She done looked at it all about 8-9 times. She buying in like to the most, right? So, but the key is nothing happens on the sideline. You got to go and talk to people. Go up and just say, hey, how you doing? Oh man, you know what I'm saying? Look like you having a good time tonight. Small talk is the greatest effort you can make when it comes to. If you come and you talking about, hey, how you doing? And you being all serious, women don't like all that serious stuff. Be fun-loving, right? I got a partner of mine, I'm telling you, this cat is like the baddest cat in the world. He can see a woman halfway across the parking lot. And he'll be like, girl, you know, if I was 20 years younger, I'd be running over there at you. And next thing you know, they bust out laughing, and he's laughing. Next thing you know, he'll make his way to her. I mean, from across the parking lot. It could be across 2 cars. And next thing you know, he done made her laugh, and he's on his way over there to talk to her.
Laughing here,
And it's because, it ain't because of anything other than he can create humor. He's not so attached to, I gotta know you and I gotta get her number. He just want to speak to you. He just want to be friends with you. He just want to see what's up with you. He might just want to get a little closer and check you out. But it ain't gonna happen being all serious and trying to get a girl's number. You know, the girl's gonna be willing to give you number if you spend time with her in the environment at all. If you spend 2, 3, 5 minutes with a woman, literally 5 minutes with a woman in one of those environments, you can simply make a break by saying, hey, listen, I got to go holler at a few other people. Let me have your number real quick. Let me give you my number. Shoot me a text, and let's catch up tomorrow. Let's catch up next week. Shoot my shot, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm telling you, I hope babies will be made from this. You know what I'm saying? Because there's too many times I've seen my fellas standing on the sideline. And in no environment will you ever see me standing on the sideline unless I'm, you know, in a committed relationship. I know how to work the crowd. I know how to go say hello. I know how to make friends. And if you don't know, one of the best books in the world, it's by I think it was Dale Carnegie. It's called Making Friends, How to Influence and Make Friends. And it'll give you all kinds of techniques to start conversations with people and how you open a dialogue with new people. Because everybody's looking for something. They first of all, they're looking for maybe you to make a little eye contact. They're looking for you to have a certain positioning, you know what I'm saying? You're not too far away, you're not too close to them. They're looking for you to have maybe a smile on your face. They're looking for you to be friendly, you know? And if you're not showing a friendliness, then more than likely you're closing people off. They think you're unapproachable. They can't get through that big wall you have. All you fine women, all you super fine women who go out and get dressed, put a smile on your face, right? That dude want to come talk to you, but you frowned up all night long, dancing by yourself. Man, let me get off of this kick for a minute. Let's go ahead and take our final break. I'm hoping this is helping somebody, right? But we're gonna be right back with more Bar Talk. Segment here.
We'll have a little fun like this real quick.
Yeah, we are talking tonight, folks, about how can we find our ideal mate. And what you got to say there?
Man, one of the things I got to say, you know, when I told you I went on these sites and I did different things, I went to the club and met people in the club. I did a little bit of everything. I was out one time when I was with somebody, and it was the end of the night, and I went to a concert, and I went back to a small cookout. And when I got back there, I met somebody. And when I met this person, you know, they really weren't paying me no attention. And I thought they was very cute. So I was like, oh, you know, I wanted to get her attention. She actually really would give me none. So I had to take the person I was with home. So I took them home, and I came back. Now, you already know that ain't already a good sign. You already was with one person. You just took them home and you coming back. But I like the fact that she didn't show me any interest at that time. So, of course, I'm going to sit and I'm gonna have this conversation with her because she has that look. I'm attracted to a person I don't know, and I don't know why, but I want to know. And we had this conversation. Now I ain't gonna tell you it was so great that anything more happened because I don't think she even knew my name at the time. But I promise.
Doesn't matter, by the way.
The name didn't really matter, but it's kind of funny that all this talking we was doing, she didn't really know my name.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny, but the bottom line is she was intrigued on things I was saying, and she liked the way I was treating her.
Okay.
And it caused us to have a dialogue, which we talked for many weeks. And that was something that she wasn't used to. Many weeks that she wasn't really used to. And then it formed into more of a friendship before it became anything else. And she still remembers this very day how we met.
So there's never no sex or anything?
Oh, you out your mind. Hell yeah. It wasn't me.
You ain't telling the whole damn story, man.
I mean, the whole reason. Shouldn't just be because your boy got.
You made it sound like y'all talked on the phone for weeks.
We actually talked for weeks. before all that really transpired.
Okay.
We have got together, tried to get together and get some things together, but it didn't work. It didn't happen. Okay, so when it really did, it was weeks later. It wasn't like immediately.
Yeah, that's good.
And
good.
that's one of the reasons, there's a little distance in between, so it wasn't somebody can just come around the corner I can just see, but it was a person that grabbed my interest. And what I like about the interest thing is you don't know what you get interested in. It's a look. And I didn't know. But I enjoyed the conversation. So it intrigued me more, just like with her. She had things going on. She wasn't looking for nobody. It wasn't for us to do anything. She didn't care to be my friend. And then it turned out we end up being friends. And then later on we end up being in a more serious type of situation.
Okay.
Now, I can't say that can happen to any and everyone.
It can happen to anybody.
But I can tell you, if you won't take the opportunity to talk to a person, I guarantee it ain't gonna happen.
Well, don't talk to them until you take your other friend home. I mean, that's the key.
I mean, you can talk to them while it's still there. I don't know how it's
What
gonna
was
work
the
for you.
conversation with the other one?
Because right now, at least I'm still cool with both.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I guess.
We don't
Yeah,
know, right?
I don't know how people be feeling about Jay at this point in life.
Right.
I think I'm telling too much.
Barbara put a list of things here to how to find an ideal mate, and I'll just cover several of them real quick.
Go ahead.
First of all, she said figure out what you want.
That'd be nice.
All right, if you want one, you don't want one, da 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 da. Then she says, and this is kind of an introspective way to find an ideal mate.
Okay.
She says make a list into a profile of what kind of mate you're looking for. In other words, maybe sit down with a clean sheet of paper and write about your ideal mate. And one of the most profound things ever happened to me, really, became a major stage of my life, was I was in a new city. I had been there about 5 or 6 weeks. I had played all the golf you can play. I hung out all the bars you can hang out, da 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 da. And I came home early, 6 o'clock one day, and I started watching this movie. It was called Samson and Delilah. And so I watched the movie, and at the end of the movie, because of her, she got his eyes gouged out, and he was down in his prison. And it was just an awestruck moment for him to be in the prison, in the dungeon, still praying for her. And as he was praying for her, she was coming down the steps. Obviously, he didn't know it. And then, at the end of his prayer, she put her hand on him. He wasn't ever supposed to see her again. And so I thought to myself, man, that's the kind of love I want. I want that kind of love. And I went into this deep prayer. I remember getting on my knees next to my couch, just praying like, Lord, I just want her to be like this, and I want her to be like this, and I would like her to be like this. And I just started giving the Lord all these attributes. 15, 20 minutes later into the prayer, I wake up, and my buddy of mine called me and said, hey, man, I'm celebrating my birthday. You want to come go out with me? I'm like, sure. He picks me up a couple hours later. We walk into the club. I look across the club, and there is the woman that became my wife. It was like 2.5, 3 hours later from the time I prayed to the time I met her, and she was my soulmate. I have met very few women as thorough as her, in spite of our troubles in the end, and that caused us to break up, that I met my ideal and soulmate through that technique, making a list of what you want. Another thing Barbara said is, you got to start looking.
I've been doing
And looking sometimes means just making assessments. Maybe some of the people in your life. Maybe make an assessment of, hey, am I going out enough? Am I meeting enough people? Do I need to go get in some groups and and socialize a little bit? Do I need to go to church? Do I need to go, my cousin's house who's having a gather and see if I can meet a few people there? Figure out how you're going to start looking. And another thing here, really important, don't be too picky up front. That will cause you to miss out on a great opportunity, okay? The book is not judged by the cover. It's judged by the character and the content of the book. And so you got to find a way to look beyond the surface of people in order to find an ideal mate. Because an ideal mate probably isn't going to just stand out to you, right? It's going to be somebody who you end up getting to know and then starting to like. And then all of a sudden you can start building this friendship or this companionship. If you just looked at the surface at maybe their attire or maybe their car or, etc., you're only looking at the surface of things, and you may miss a good opportunity, right? Another thing.
Your beauty, it was your beauty.
It was your beauty. Don't rush things, right? Get to know them, give them a little time. If See, I'm of the notion that a man knows when a woman wants him. A man knows when a woman likes him, right? And if she's not showing you that, vacate the premises, right? If she's showing you that, if you planting your seed and, you know what I'm saying, and she feeling you, that's one thing. But if you're not feeling each other, you know, there's nowhere to go. And that means you need to go on, you know, cast them to the curb or go on, you know, by the wayside. There are a lot of people who have agendas. And if you meet somebody and you're wondering what their agenda is, all you got to do is just discern it a little bit. And you'll be able to see right through them. They want to just have a good time. They are people who might be looking for a strong, you know, something in their life. They may not call it a relationship right now, but they may be open to a relationship if you get to know them enough, right? Tell them up front what you're looking for. Let's not make any assumptions. And just because you tell them up front what you're looking for, don't mean that they, you know, are going to subscribe to it. Number one.
You gotta tell me.
But you know, even if they tell you what they're looking for, you still can't take it at face value. You know, if somebody tells you, hey, I was having a conversation with a friend of mine today. If somebody tells you, well, no, I'm not looking for a relationship, I'm like, okay, that's cool, you know what I mean? But every time I call you, you call me back, and every time I go out, you go out, and you don't seem like you're going out with nobody else, and you know what I'm saying? All of a sudden now, what she was really trying to do, well, maybe she was playing a subconscious tape in her head, you know? Because women have to reject a lot of people, right? Yeah, and so she could have just been playing that tape now because she didn't feel in the mood, or she had just, you know, had a bad experience, you know, lost a relative, who knows what happened. But she couldn't feel you at that moment, and she was like, no, I'm not looking for a relationship. But next thing you know, somehow she may end up wanting it, or at least interested in it, if you might be the right kind of person, right?
But you got to also give them an opportunity to grow, to see if that's what they want. A lot of times people give you upfront. Long term, I want to be. But on the upfront, I can't tell you all my long-term goals. I don't know you.
Right.
So it's not being deceptive. It's just being honest.
Right.
So if I want a friendship in a monogamous, non-monogamous relationship right now, but long-term, I do really want to be back married.
You meet a dime piece, right?
Yeah.
Say you in bar club, right? She's super fine, man.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? She's classy, everything about her
bro.
just lit.
Mm-hmm.
And within the first 5 or 10 minutes of talking to her, she says, so, Jay, are you in a relationship? Or are you looking for a relationship? Are you considering?
Like, no, right now. I'm into my radio show, also my trucking business. Got a lot of things going on.
Oh, okay.
I mean, still healing myself at this point, but you know, again, anything can happen later. But right now, I'm not looking for a monogamous relationship. But again, I love to meet people. I'm in social media all the time, and again, I'm just growing.
That's a great answer, man. That's what I call a negative reverse, right? Because you know, yeah, you know what I'm saying. Women want to chase. Right?
Hey, I'm giving them a reason to.
They like to chase, right? And you know, sometimes when you say no, they make a decision that they might change your mind because you might be looking like that kind of guy, you know. I don't make the rules. I just kind of follow the ones that come at me.
Yeah, they throw them at us a lot,
you know. I think the point of this entire discussion is that there are so many ways to meet people. You got to get off your couch. You got to get out of your living room. You got to get out of your common element. New experiences. The quote for today is it's often the unexpected that brings joy. And you're not going to meet Mr. or Mrs. Right in areas where you know everybody, perhaps. You got to get out of your box and you got to do something a little different. And I would encourage everyone who's single and maybe looking for somebody to hang out with or some companionship, make it a point to go out at least one time a month. In one night, especially if you're a good-looking woman, in one night, you can get your 4, 5, 6 numbers, and you can have plenty of work to do for the next couple of months in terms of meeting and getting to know people. But you're not going to get 2 or 3 numbers, and you're not going to give out your number if you're not out there, dressed to the nine, trying to make an impact on the world. And those good times don't necessarily have to be about going out and meeting somebody. Just go and be amongst the people. Right? Just if you go out, people who go out and who enjoy life and who make things happen, they're always meeting new people. Right? There's all kinds of varied people to to have in your world, to have in your life. And we don't know most of them. So I'm just asking you, encouraging you to get out of your box. Again, Mr. and Mrs. Right is not going to just come knocking at your door. You got to go out and find them. You got to go out and be found by them. One of the two. But, looking for love is a great thing. And I have to put up some of the roadblocks. Going in with, too much expectations, drilling people. You want to know too much too soon. You want to get too close too soon. You want to know their whole world and their whole past, and you don't even understand their presence. You know what I mean? You got to find a way to, there's a fine line. You don't go too hard and you don't act too lackadaisical. There's a happy medium, and if somebody's meeting you at those happy mediums, there's probably a bond to be had there. There's probably a relationship of some sort to be had. And if you start to vibe on another level, and see, that's what it comes down to. I think that's the nutshell of the whole thing, is people who you vibe with.
There you go.
Right?
Home run.
It's not, and that person that you vibe with may or may not become Mrs. Right. They may just be somebody you kick it with. They share a few new experiences with you. Maybe they become, part-time lover. Who knows what that equation might end up being. They might invite you to a church where you find your church home and you find the Lord. Who knows? But it is most certainly something to consider, It's certainly something to consider. Just, my notion over everything and everybody is you got to pray over them, And if they're good for you in your life, you ask the Lord to bring them closer to you and to put them exactly where He would want them in your life. If they're not good for you, ask them to take away your opportunity to see them, to talk to them, make them vanish, make them disappear, and they will certainly will. Okay, and it all will be based on your intentions. When it comes to finding an ideal mate, sometimes people get caught up into dating multiple people.
Yeah, I've been
It's
there.
the natural evolution of things, because you might meet, and what oftentimes happens is there could be a couple of three of those Mrs. Right show up at one time.
No, see, that's the problem right there. He said show up at one time.
They all come kind of at the same time, and you're like, damn, I got these two bad
If
women who want to holler at me.
If I meet three at the same time, cool. They come to my house, my place, and they ain't announced.
Well, they ain't talking about that.
I was about to tell you, because there ain't no disrespect here, player. That ain't miss nothing.
Yeah.
Miss bye.
Listen, I would conclude this show. We just got a couple minutes here. I would conclude this show by saying that love does exist.
Ooh, yes.
And I think you will find it passively, but subconsciously passively, consciously passively, I'll say. You know what you're looking for, you know who you are, you know what you want, and you're open to that person being in your life when they show up. And, that's how love seems to happen. It happens, and, there are countless number of relationships that you meet a person, you fall in love, and within 30 days, you're like, this is it. This is where I want to be. This is the person I want to be. And that love blossoms, and it happens so fast. It takes you by storm. Real love will take you by storm, And that's one of the disadvantages of becoming older, is because, we just don't believe it's going to come by storm anymore. We know that it's going to come, but it's going to come through my assessment and my understanding and lots of dialogue and courtship for a year or two. And I meet the family and do these things that, when it's a pure love, though, it happens and it'll just absolutely take you over. And there's no greater feeling than experiencing a true, genuine, real love with somebody, and somebody who you believe that you can share a future with. So I encourage you folks to never give up on love. As long as God is in our life, then love is truly possible. And so how would you close out, Jay?
The only reason I close out the same way with craft is a little bit different. If you're looking for sex, say that what it is, okay? Don't go into it talking love, talking long term, and that ain't your intention.
You want to hit it.
Because if you just want to hit, you people did something. That's what they do. We don't need to be playing around and it ain't happening. It's happening.
It's happening.
But if you talk to somebody and they have that clear understanding, make it happen with a clear understanding. Because again, a lot of times people want exactly what you're talking about, and they calling that. And sex ain't love.
Yeah, and listen, there's a
And
lot
that's
of
why I want to make sure you can get confused.
yeah, there's a lot of misleading going on out there.
Yeah,
So
and I want that.
yeah, we're gonna conclude the show by just thanking you for being here with us.
Mhm.
Whether you're on the live podcast, first of all, we appreciate those who are on the live shot tonight. I can't see who you are, but truly grateful for you being with us. Hope you enjoyed the dialogue and the program. For those who are watching this through some other form of media, thank you for your participation. Again, subscribe and you get every show coming to you. We're every Thursday, 7 to 9, Facebook Live. And we're just here to do something positive for the world. And so thank you again. We'll see you on the next Bar Talk with Jay. And we are out.
Ain't no last calls here.
Bar Talk with Jay.